Chapter 2, Nutrition in Animals. Animal nutrition mainly includes the nutrient requirement, like what all the food requirements or the nutrients required by the animals. So that's why it's known as nutrient requirement. Then mode of intake of food, like in what way the particular organism or animal will eat, and its utilization in the body, like how the food will be digested and how it will be utilized by the organism's body. The process of breaking down complex food components into simpler food substances is known as digestion. All animals, we have to eat food, we have to digest them, and we have to utilize them for our bodies, and then we have to remove the waste from our body, known as digestion. So this is the basic introduction regarding nutrition in animals. Now we'll study further. The topic is different ways of taking food. So how various animals or organisms intake food. So it varies from organism to organism. So for example, certain organisms might use scraping, certain organisms or like animals, they can use chewing. Some animals might use brewing, some animals might capture and swallow the whole prey, so that's known as capturing and swallowing. Some animals might use sucking, like they can suck the digestive juices directly from their food, etc. Now we'll proceed further with this topic, digestion in human beings. So the entire digestion of the food which we consume is done by a particular system in our bodies known as the digestive system. So the digestive system consists of a single canal known as the alimentary canal. So this alimentary canal is a single canal which extends from the mouth to the anus. So the basic process is we intake our food using our mouth, and then we digest the food, and then we utilize the food for the efficient functioning of our bodies. The various compartments of the digestive system are: number one, the buccal cavity, also known as the mouth cavity. Then second, the food pipe, also known as the esophagus. Then number 3, the stomach. Then number 4, small intestine. Number 5, large intestine, which ends or ending in the rectum. And number 6, the anus. Apart from these, our digestive system also has various glands like the salivary glands, the liver and the pancreas, which secrete various digestive juices which helps in the digestion of the food which we eat. The various digestive juices which are secreted by the various glands like the liver and the pancreas, they really help a lot in breaking down and digesting the complex food into simpler ones. So now we'll proceed further with the mouth, also known as the buccal cavity. So first of all, the process of eating food is known as ingestion. That means food is taken by us through our mouth. Then the food is bitten and chewed by our teeth. We use our teeth. So, and then the food is broken down into small pieces using our teeth. So we have various sets of teeth for breaking down, for tearing down meat, and for grinding them as well. And during the process, saliva is a liquid which is secreted by the salivary glands which are present in our mouths. And also our tongue also helps a lot in breaking down the food, in digesting the food. And then after like the food is slightly digested in the mouth itself, so the food is then pushed down further down the throat. So then the next part is the food pipe, also known as the esophagus. So the food which is received from the mouth or the buccal cavity goes through the food pipe, also known as the esophagus, which further pushes down the food to the stomach. Then we come to the stomach. The stomach is a thick walled bag like in the shape of a flattened U. So the stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It receives food on one end and opens into the small intestine at the other end. So the stomach contains a strong acid known as hydrochloric acid. So the stomach is strongly protected from the acid by an inner lining of mucus. So the mucus protects our stomach from the acidic effect of hydrochloric acid by creating a boundary or a border between the acid and the stomach. So that's why the stomach is acidic in nature. During the digestion which takes place in the acidic medium of the stomach, it kills many bacteria as well, and it breaks down many complex proteins into simpler substances. We come to the next topic, the small intestine. So the small intestine is a highly coiled organ which is approximately 7.5 meters long in length, and it receives secretion from the liver and the pancreas glands as well. The walls of the small intestine also secretes various digestive juices. So the food is received by the small intestine from the stomach, and then the complete digestion of the food takes place in the small intestine. So the liver and the pancreas, which helps the small intestine in completely digesting the food. So the liver is a reddish brown gland, and it's also the largest gland in our body. It has great regenerative abilities. Like even if you cut more than 80% of the liver, it can grow back to its full normal size. It secretes bile juices from its sac called gallbladder, which plays a very important role in the digestion of fats. So the liver is also assisted by the pancreas or the pancreatic gland, or simply the pancreas as well. And then after the food is digested, the absorption of the food takes place. The important nutritious juices are absorbed by the small intestine and they are transported to the blood. So the absorption takes place through villi, villi, plural, singular, villus, villus. So these villi are the finger-like outgrowths. There are thousands of villi present in the walls of our small intestines. So the absorption of the essential nutrients from the food takes place in the small intestine, and then they are transported to the blood through villi, and then from there the blood transports all the essential nutrients all across our bodies. So in this way our bodies are able to function efficiently after the absorption process. And then there's a very important note. What do you mean by assimilation? Assimilation is the process of building complex substances like proteins required by the body. And then we come to the next part, number 5, the large intestine. So the large intestine is wider and shorter than the small intestine. It is approximately 1.5 meters long. It mainly absorbs water and some salts from the undigested food material, and then the remaining food material is the waste material generated, which is then removed out from the body, or in other words, which is egested from the body through the anus. So this process is known as egestion. So in this way digestion takes place in us human beings. So now we'll study this topic, digestion in grass eating animals. So there are many animals like cows, buffaloes, goats, sheep, horses, etc. These animals, they are able to eat, like they mainly eat grass. So they are able to digest grass by using a special digestive mechanism. So these animals, they have more than one stomach. They normally have 4 stomachs, and they have a special part of the stomach known as the rumen, R-U-M-E-N, rumen. So the rumen is mainly used for storing the food. So in the rumen, the food is partially digested and it is known as cud. So after some time, when the animals sit for some time in a relaxed manner, they bring back the food from the rumen back to the mouth, they re-chew it, and then they send the food back to the stomach for complete digestion. So that's why this process is known as rumination, and the animals performing rumination are known as ruminants. So these animals, they can digest cellulose, which is a very strong food substance, which many animals, including us human beings, cannot digest cellulose. Due to this process of rumination, they are able to give us milk. Cows, buffaloes, goats, sheep, we can get milk from them. Now we'll move on further to this topic, which is feeding and digestion in amoeba. So amoeba, what is amoeba? Amoeba is a microscopic single-celled organism found in pond water mainly. The amoeba has a cell membrane, it has nucleus, and it has a few vacuoles. And one of these vacuoles are food vacuoles. It's just a very small microscopic organism. So the outer cell membrane, it's variable in shape. It does not have a fixed shape. So that's why the cell membrane of the amoeba is known as, or called as, pseudopodia. In other words, which means false feet. So the amoeba captures food using its pseudopodia, also known as the false feet. Then it digests it using one of the vacuoles present inside its body, mainly using the food vacuole, and then absorbs the nutrients to its body and then removes the waste from its body using the cell membrane once again. So in this way, the amoeba absorbs the nutrients from the food which it eats or consumes and utilizes it for the efficient functioning of its body. So absorption and utilization are done by the amoeba and then survive efficiently and perform all the essential body activities. So in this way we studied a lot of important topics in this chapter, chapter 2, nutrition in animals. So you can also do some Google search and learn more and more about various kinds of nutrition in animals. And if you have any doubts or suggestions, you can let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.